Yo, yo, good morning. Talos, hello, sir. Yo, yo. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good evening. Oh, whoops. Yo, yo, good morning. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say new mini, but projects, things that need to be done. That's about it. The usual with this hobby. Too many things to do. Too many things, too little time. The usual.
Looks like you had enough of the fine cast.
Pretty much. I mean, we finished those two for now. I'm not going to go back and, like, refine them yet, but they're mostly done. I have to start a project either tomorrow or the next day. That'll take about 7 days. That'll be in a YouTube video. So I'm just trying to waste time. I'm just trying to do things in the meantime before tomorrow. So whatever I can work on is just what I'm going to try and mess around with. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be crunch time for about 7 days, probably. It's good to bounce around. Doing the same thing repeatedly is just kind of like a nightmare. You just lose your mind. Work on the same shit forever. You just kind of like have your brain get mushed. Mushy brain. Good morning, I'm at work right now. That is lovely, sir. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. So, fine cast, enjoyable? Yeah. I mean, there's just a million things to do in this hobby, and it's like, will it ever all get done? Probably. How long is it going to take? No idea. Long enough. Well, there are dwarves in the cities of Sigmar, but they're most likely going to get their own range. They're going to get their own, like, dispossessed books, supposedly, where, like, all of them are kind of intermingled. It's just a matter of time. All that stuff is a matter of time. It's like, when is it going to happen? This year, next year, who knows? I think AOS is supposed to get a new edition next year, right? This is pewter. You could use anything like that, but it might be a bit too abrasive. Usually by hand is just an easier way to control your pressure. There are Dremels, though. There's a lot of different ways to clean minis up, but it just depends on kind of what you want to do to it. No, this is pewter. This is like tin, copper, antimony. It's a metal mix. Uh, 3 paints and that's it. Yeah, it's a good hobby challenge. Sometimes less is more. Less is more. Overcomplicating things can just lead you down a very dark path of never being satisfied. You need to be happy with the hobby, and if you're not, you gotta do something else for the time being and then work your way up to, like, doing it again. These things will eat away at your mental. Thoroughly. Well, I mean, you can just repaint them. There's no shame in repainting something if you're deeply unhappy. Genuinely. I've repainted countless things that I was very unhappy with. Technically, the last thing I painted, I repainted like 3 times. And that was like days of work gone. There's nothing wrong with that. We're good, sir. Yes, we're cleaning a Slayer. Not entirely naked. Close enough, though. Close enough to being in the nude. Oh, this is no, this is super OG. This is like 90. This is 80s. I mean, what is this? 90s or 80s? 93. So this was an Ali Morrison sculpt. This is like the godfather of the Slayer sculpt. Ali Morrison has like the best Slayers. There are a few that are kind of naked though. I mean, he did one for it may have been him, it may have been another sculptor, but there was Garagrim, the Storm of Chaos. That guy's pretty much butt naked. They've got the Skull Pass guy who's butt naked. Yeah, there's a few. But yeah, it's probably not an aesthetic they want to keep. Technically, they got rid of, like, full-blown naked minis and, like, you know, bare-chested, like, Slanesh minis a while ago. Which is a bit lame, because, like, it just is what they are, you know? Not to say that you can't do it, but it is what they are. Well, those are re-releases. They're not new. Like, they're recasted old minis. Yeah, they're from, like, technically the entire fantasy range, bar, like, Ungrim, uh, Damonson, so, like, the engineer guy, and the Thane on Oathstone. Those are the only 3 new minis. Also the Shield Bearers. So they made a few new minis, but most of them are just, like, old molds that they kind of, like, repurposed. And there's a lot more sculpts. The ones you get in that box are not really, like, the full range. Yo, yo. What they do first. Yeah, hopefully the Fire Slayers don't get completely squatted. I'd like to make a little force of them. But, yeah, ideally, they're not completely gone, but yeah. Squad of 10 when I was 12. That's the, yeah, they had a box, I think, in around 2005. I don't have one in here, but I know I have the boxes in the living room. I'm still sorting a bunch of my old stuff, but yeah, they did, around 2005, they had, like, 10 of them in a box. Yeah, good times. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Well, yeah, maybe some made-to-order thing. I mean, they have them now as, like, a mainstay in the dwarf line, because if you want to build a Slayer host, you can have, like, 50 of them. I will be painting on stream probably this week. I have a project I have to do for fun for a Games Workshop. That's kind of like the primer for, like, the diorama that I have to do for another store. And it's a 7-day thing, so I have 7 days to build and paint. And I'm going to be painting a Dwarf Thane. Or Lord, you know, whatever it may be. So that's going to be this week. Technically, starting tomorrow, I think I can go pick it up, and then I can work on it. Yeah. So we have 7 days to build it, paint it, convert it. Everything has to be done 7 days as a fun little thing. Cruel boys are going to get squatted. No, there's no way. I don't think the Cruel Boy range is, like, really unique. And I don't think they'd get squatted. I feel like the Fire Slayers have a pretty good chance of getting, like, kind of dumped on a little bit, because they just don't. They need more variety. You know what'd be cool for the Fire Slayers is releasing upgrade sprues. Upgrade head sprues, upgrade, like, bit sprues and things to make them look a little bit more unique. Like, that's so much better. Because I don't think the Fire Slayer sculpts are bad per se, but, like, they're too samey. That's that range's biggest problem. Very, like, one-dimensional, samey. Like, what if we take Slayers and just put them in Age of Sigmar, but don't really change too much? That's what they should be doing. I've got a few Fire Slayer things, actually. I picked up, what was it? It's like Volkites, like the standard troop. They're most likely going to get kind of like rinsed out, though. I don't think they do. You know, it's weird for upgrade sprues because, like, it's like, I don't want to talk about League on this stream, but, like, in League of Legends, they did a few Band-Aid changes where, like, as an example, they redid, what was it? They redid the splash art for, let's say, Warwick before he had his visual update, and then they gave him the visual update, and they took away the splash art. That's what they did for a few kits. I know they did that for, like, the Cadians, where they had, like, the Cadian upgrade sprue for, like, the heads. And then in a matter of, like, a year, I think they were gone. Or, like, a year and a half, something like that. So, you know, maybe they would do something like that for AOS. I'm not sure. But it would be cool. I mean, because, like, honestly, again, the Fire Slayers are just, like, kind of boring to look at. Like, they wouldn't be so terrible with an upgrade sprue. Hobby maxing immersion. Well, it was just some weird splash art thing they did. Like, why even put resources into that if you're just going to change it completely? I mean, they know how much they're selling. If something isn't selling, they're not going to keep it up. Right? Just imagine the sales for Fire Slayers. There's no money. There's no money. Who is buying Fire Slayers? Maybe when they first came out, but, like, they're really, really not a fan favorite. Well, an upgrade sprue is for heads. That's the biggest differential, like, thing, I think, outside of weapons. I think a head sprue that has more of, like, Anglo-Saxon looking, like, Viking-esque masks, that would look really sick on Fire Slayers. You know, different beard styles, have them flowing. It'd be very, very interesting, because, like, most of the Fire Slayer range just kind of looks the exact same. The only difference, again, is, like, the head sculpt and maybe some of the gear and the weapon is different. I think the heads are a good change of pace if you want to make them look unique. Because they've shown that they can make really good Fire Slayer heads, or just dwarf heads in general, because they made, like, the Warcry kit, and the Warcry kit for, like, the Fire Slayers are really, really good. Like, those sculpts are amazing. They look night and day compared to, like, the actual AOS range. So, I don't know. I think it'd be a fine, like, touch-up, but who knows what's going to happen. They all look the same. All the Fire Slayers look the same now. The Hearthguard, like, the prominent units, like the elites, they've got, like, flails and like, magma, what would you even call them? Like, magma pikes, like ranged weapons. That's, like, all you're really gonna see, you know? Everyone else is just, like, mohawk, weapon, mustache, no mustache. It's very, very subtle. It's not like unique enough, I think, to make everyone look kind of the part. The magma droths are cool. Probably the coolest thing outside of, like, maybe some character sculpts. Yeah, they need flavor. You know what? Bring Grimnir back. There you go. Some big fucked up molten avatar of Grimnir. Call it like a prayer power. The avatar of Grimnir. We'll see when the time comes, though, because again, AOS is getting a pretty big shakeup supposedly, and if there is a range that'll be going out, it'll be the Fire Slayers. I think they're the least popular faction in AOS. I don't think anything is like less damning for their range. We'll see. Construction workers. Well, yeah, you can make whatever you want. How about that? Jesus, you could do it. Sky's the limit when it comes to making stuff. You could do it. I'm sure there are some very funky conversions out there where armies don't even look like what they were originally looking like, and they're just kind of all over the place with goofiness. I'm sure that is a thing. Tons of armies. I think I saw in a video there was a guy who had like a Lorax themed Wood Elf army where everyone was just like a fucking fuzzy plant. Funny. Have some fun with it. I did see one of those. I saw a guy who did conversions of like each character from Toy Story as like a 40k unit, or like an individual character rather. Yeah, it's funny. The Urn Brew Warriors. I mean, sounds like something you could do. Scottish fuzzy drink, orange and blue. You know what? Hobby dreams. That's what we call that. How many of your hobby dreams do get to come true? That is the sad reality of this hobby. We wanted to do so many things, and it's like, how many of them do we actually finish? Sounds like a game dev. Sounds like any creative person who wants to do shit. So I don't blame them. It's good to, take a step back and try something else, though, sometimes, because you do just get burned out of doing the same thing. One idea that was like your magnum opus might be your downfall, just because you can't finish it or you can't, like, work your head around certain things. Exactly. It's like, you think of something, you do it. You think of something, you do it. Or at least you try to. We have so many ideas in our head, and we can visualize the finish line, but, like, getting there is the problem. Getting to said finish line with, like, all of our thoughts and making sure we're, happy with it, that's a whole different beast, man. That's tough. If you can do it, though, I'm sure you'll be very happy. Which, at the end of the day, is the goal with hobbies and work and everything, is just being happy. Jesus. A Dremel would be really useful, actually. A very fine Dremel. And I think the only fine Dremel I've seen. Actually, look this up real quick. Uh, Technically, any rotary tool with like a small bit would basically be it. That's effectively what you need. The smallest one I've seen, though, there's a brand out of China that's, like, becoming my favorite thing. Because they make really good fucking tools. Should try that. The Display rotary grinding tool. Or any rotary tool. Well, gaming can still be a hobby. Technically, it should be. Should be. Display is really good. Have you used the Display rotary? Because I use their sandpaper is the best thing I've ever used. I've got a few of their other tools, but I think it's more of the size and the make of it that's really, really good. Because, like, the Display stuff is very tiny, but the make of it is, like, very, very high quality. It's not cheap at all. I do want to try their rotary tool, I guess you could say. I have to create something now? Yeah, that's fair. Everyone's different with, like, what they enjoy and, you know, their hobby time. It's good to mix it up, though. You never know. One day you're gaming, one day you're making something. If you genuinely don't like it, don't do it. Skyrim playthrough. You know, peace of mind with single-player games, not a bad gig. You're playing with bros, not a bad gig. I don't blame people for not wanting to play multiplayer games, because that's like a whole different rabbit hole. That's like a rabbit hole of commitment and mental struggles that not everyone gives a shit about, and that's totally fine. And that's a good thing. That not everyone wants to do that. You just gotta do what you enjoy. That mini looks sick. Yeah, this is one of the old dwarf slayers. There are many, but this one is lovely. We only have to make about 60 of them. Unfortunately. Handed him an 8-ball of crap. Apparently Rust is like, basically... I mean, I'm just gonna... It's like Twitter. It's like Twitter, Reddit. It's like the worst places of the internet, but in game form. That's what I've heard. I've never played the game, so I can't say for certain, but like, yeah. I'm sure it could be great, though, and not so disturbing, but I've heard many a story about Rust. It is the gamer's paradise, I gotta say. Isn't Rust the game where you can't pause it? Like, if you're in a server, your shit could be raided at, like, any time. Um, how much harder is it to work on metal instead of resin and plastic? It's a little bit more abrasive. Basically, everything you'll do for resin and plastic, you'll do a little bit harder on metal. When it comes to sanding, it's the same process, but when it comes to like knife work or, you know, file work, because you typically don't ever need files for other materials, you just have to be a little bit more abrasive. But it is soft. It's not like impossible. It's just, you know, put a little bit more elbow grease into general cleanup. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Which there's this weird like stigma with metal minis, but they're really not any different. You can file them and cut them and smooth them out. Same process. I would say if you're more inclined to make it look good, metal minis are harder in that capacity just because the casting process is so much more what's a good word for that? So much more crude. You know, they're not like big injection molded machines where sprues come out and they look perfect and everything is like nice and crisp. You know, all the metal minis were casted by hand, and the process is just very, very rugged. So you can kind of find yourself going over surfaces and just slightly smoothing them out. You know, you're not really trying to change detail, you're trying to bring the detail back. Rust is the most degenerate game. You just described Destiny 2. Isn't that game free? If it's a free game, it's got to be degenerate now. Pizza, hello, sir. Free to try, but you have to pay for every expansion and dungeon. That's fair. That sounds fair. I don't know how well that translates into, like, paying for things, but if it's free and DLC is paid for, it doesn't sound like such a scam. Yo, good morning. Anime Titan, hello, sir. The big emotes. That's the big hand, brother. The big hand. Sorry, I can't really read all the chat. Hang on. Warframe. I feel like Warframe was kind of in that same boat. Any free community? I don't know. That's on Steam, right? Warframe is on Steam. The devs are feeding into it. I mean, you go where the crowd is, I suppose, if that's what it's turning into. I mean, you see that fucking Clash of Clans shit where they had, like, the foot bundle? Like, get a life. What is that? Like, if you hated our mobile game, you're gonna love it now. Look at this. It's like, what? Or if you love it, you'll love it even more. I can't really imagine loving a mobile game that isn't Raid Shadow Legends, to be honest. Raid Shadow Legends is just way too good. Clearly. Alex Sloser. Candy Crush is crack for old people. I think Ivana plays Candy Crush. I have seen some shit. I mean, you have the term whale, right? Those people who spend a fuck ton of money on, like, gacha mobile games. But crazy that that's even a thing. I think it's all psychological warfare. One more hit. Fantasy for now. Actually, tomorrow I have to work on a little diorama. It's going to be a precursor to the Dane piece I have to do. So it's going to be one-off little mini. It's going to be a Thane or a Dwarf Lord from like the Shield Bearer kit that I have to do for a GW. And then I'm going to be working on the Dane project. So it's going to be a bit more fantasy. I've been fiending to do fantasy as of late. I'm like, I haven't done any fantasy in a while. So I'm just kind of passing the time building a Slayer. Until tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day is when I have to start. Well, not for GW. It's a little like it's a fun little thing where you basically build and paint a mini and then you get like a little participation trophy. I'm doing it because I want to kind of just get back in the groove of things before I work on like 15 minis at once for a diorama. It's a store event. It's not like a super official thing. Like, I'm not going to be in a book. You know what I mean? But I do want to make it into a YouTube series. So it'll be one video, but 7 days. And I have to build and paint the entire thing in 7 days, and you're good to go. It's a local thing. Yeah. It's just a fun little thing. It's not really a competition. It's just more of like, do something, you know? So I'm going to be painting the Dwarf Lord on foot from the Shield Bearers kit. So I got to build him, paint him. I'll put him on a plinth. I was thinking of sculpting some sort of like dwarven iconography for the base and then having him kind of like in a resting pose. We'll convert him up, but it has to be done in 7 days. Yeah, just for fun. And then once that's done, I can work on Dane and the Iron Hills dwarves. It's just, yeah, it's a timed thing, so it's not like sit down and do it forever. It's like only 7 days. Compressor for my airbrush. I can't recommend anything because I'm still using the same airbrush that I got on Amazon about 6 years ago. And it was cheap, and it works just fine, so I've got no complaints, but yeah, maybe someone here does it. They can help you a little bit better. I mean, a lot of these wood figures would be cool. Whittling is fun. I've done a little whittling in the past. Yeah, local events and kind of participating in the hobby is not something I've done in a while. And it's just a good way to kind of just get back into it slowly. Again, especially as a one-off that has no baggage, it's like, why not? Exactly. Yeah, whittling is fun when the weather is nice and you could just sit outdoors and do something. Yeah. I used to whittle at the cottage a little bit. My stepfather did it as well, but yeah, it's cool. I think it's because of most of the audience here is still from League. That's probably why. Which is not a crime. It probably just takes into account what those people watch as well, and then it's like, if you like that, you'll probably like League. Yeah. Satan himself birthed League to enslave the world. Probably. That I wouldn't be surprised. Satan, what are you doing? What I should do is... This is too much. These are too shit. "190 days wasted." It's not wasted, bro. It's enjoyed. I'll say this. If you spent 190 days doing Warhammer, though, you'd probably have a lot more progress. But that is entirely up to you. Wasted. Oh, it said because of the site? Oh, well, if the site says it, then it's true. Yeah, you wasted that time. Congrats, loser. You could have spent 100+ days building dwarves, and instead you decided to play a pixelated children's game for fake internet bragging rights. That's fun. But you know what? If it brings you joy, that's all that matters. And I like League. I'm gonna go play that soon, actually. We gotta do some more Graves testing today. I really want to play, hybrid builds. Emerald Elo is pure hell. Every game, a random idiot, I think. I have at least one player per game dropping 12 deaths. Sorry, I've got a lot of Smurfs. I have to make sure no one has fun in that game. I'm everywhere. Drew Levin can't take me out all at once. They'll never get me. I mean, AP Graves is like, it's viable. It's fine. It is winnable. You can actually play it and do fairly okay. I have seen far worse. This is like the only Primus song where I'm not like actually hating it. Over time, Primus has kind of grown on me a little bit. I'm surprised I never really cared for them initially, considering I've listened to like old Guar for ages and they're just as fucking stupid. I mean, Les Claypool is really good at bass. Like, this guy's a freak on the bass. Yeah, that's in Richmond. That's where Anime Titan is. I think he's north in Richmond, though, no? He's in North Virginia. If he's still here. I'm not sure if he's still here. Northern VA. We gotta make... When the coronavirus is taken care of, which, God forbid, that's another fucking global pandemic. Who knows? I think there's an Ebola outbreak again. Yeah, I don't know, man. The world has gone to shit. Super virus rumble. Well, the boat one is gone. The boat one is now on the mainland. We're all being infected. Pretty sure the boat one is no longer just on the boat. If I'm not mistaken. Isn't the boat one the hantavirus? The coronavirus? Oh, who knows, brother? It's gonna mutate. It's like the thing. It's in the goddamn cells. It's taking me over, god damn it. I'm forced to play League. It's controlling my vitals. Is it? Well, it sure as hell didn't come from there. Or maybe it did. Maybe it did. Oh, is it really? Well, there you go. I guess it did come from there. I guess that would make sense then, eh? All of these different viruses and problems and things to worry about. Would be even worse if you're more of a germaphobe. You probably don't want to go anywhere. Yeah, I'll check it out. Let me see, brother. Let me see, brother. Oh, those are cool. You got like the rat banner with the tassels, and then you've got the horn. you know, you know what that reminds me of is Bomber. You know that scene in The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, when they finally reclaim Erebor, and then Bomber's on the wall, and he's like with the big horn. That's what that reminds me of. That's funny. And you got the other banner guy. That's cool. Actually, no, that's not a banner. That's a musician. Yeah, they look great, dude. They're very flavorful. The more flavor, the better. And you've got like the Mickey Mouse, the no Mickey Mouse sign. Crazily enough, Games Workshop had like a ripped off Mickey Mouse sign back in the day when they were like kind of forming their company. Disney was not a problem at that time. Yeah. There was an old GW logo that was like some fucking cracked out Mickey Mouse. So there you go. You're like down with GW and down with the rats. Crack, yeah, crack fiend Mickey Mouse. It's the company that keeps on giving. Yes, did you see it? Yeah, weird, eh? Funky thing. Times are different, man. People were crazy back in the day. People are still crazy, but that was certainly something that's not seen often. Not anymore. Figure ads? I did not see them. What are they trying to advertise? Is it like a? Are they advertising League? Are they advertising products? What is it? What is it meant to be doing? Google Play rewards. Oh, gotcha. The fuck? It's kind of fun. Google Play rewards? Is that like a link with League or something? Or is he just doing it on his own with like Google? Is there any relation to League? Oh, really? That's interesting. Well, there you go. I mean, everyone knows who Faker is. Everyone in the League sphere, I should say. But that's interesting that he'd not be doing something related to League. You'd think it'd be some sort of Riot product or something, but... Well, I mean, Faker is like the figurehead of pro play, but and there's always tons of competition and people who are good. He's like the best OG. He is a household name. Exactly. Do they really though? Are you serious? Everyone knows him though, legit. Oh, you were kidding? Okay. So you would have had a cool family if you weren't, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's everyone respects Faker. You got to respect the competition because that is no easy task. Support tank TF mid lane at Worlds. Defining a new meta. Meta-defining int. We're probably going to get out of here in about 40 minutes or so. Mochi, I think, is still sleeping, so he's fine. You got to go for a walk soon. It's very nice out, but he is in the bedroom with Mama. And I don't hear a single thing, so he's, like, dead out. He's conked. Well, everything is conditional. Everything you do is conditional in games and hobbies, whatever. Well, more so in games, but yeah. In a vacuum, a lot of things can work. Like that very specific isolated incident, it's like, it will work. Well, I actually have an interest in patch notes because they're buffing all the support items, and the only thing I can think of is running tank TF mid with support items. Like, come on, bro. Locket's getting buffed. Knight's Vow is getting buffed. All this dog shit's getting buffed, and I'm like, yes, it's even worse. Even worse for them. Super tank support TF mid. Anyways. The GW files are actually goated. I think they changed the GW files. They're now like, I don't think they're Swiss. They're more of like US in their design. The packaging was different. The grit was different. I don't own a new file set, but like, if they changed them from diamond files, that is a very unfortunate thing. There are not many diamond files out there. What are we working on? This is an old Dwarf Slayer. This is an old 90s Dwarf Slayer. This is the good stuff. Yes, pirate. Although this is not a pirate. Could be. The world is your oyster. Probably too many to count. From when I started to where I am now, way too many. Unfortunately, in this hobby, it's never enough.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Yo, Disloyal, thank you, sir. Barrel, hello, sir. Thank you, man. It's the hobby that keeps on giving. It's never enough. Isn't that a song? I'm a minifigure myself. What am I, a Lego? I'm a Lego minifigure. The Lego's gonna be popping off soon. Those guys are, well, not even soon, but they've just been, like, pumping out so much shit lately. New Mando movie, that's another 50 sets. New anything that they have the rights for, that's another 3,000 sets. I've been doing Warhammer for about 20 plus years. It's not like 20 consistent years, but it's been like 20 to 25 years probably. At least, maybe not 25, that's a bit too long. 2022 maybe? 23? Since I was a youngin'. No, this is metal. This is pewter. So this is like a mix of tin, copper, antimony, which is just like a hardener. It's this is like a little mix of different things. It's softish to kind of work with. It's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not lead. I'll say that much. Thank God it's not lead. I'm not going to get anything from 11th edition. I don't really collect orcs anymore. I've used to collect Space Marines as a kid, but if I was to ever do orcs again, which it's just not going to happen. I used to be really, really big into orcs for a long time. That was probably my longest standing 40k army. If that was the case, I'd be picking up everything from that box, but no. I will be streaming Skulls. I just don't know when it is. I kind of forgot. I actually retweeted that post on Twitter. That was awesome. I understand that feeling, bro. For a lot of people in this hobby, it's just memories. It's like you love something so much because you've been around it for so long, and it just brings you back to a time when, like, things were easy. When there was no goddamn taxes. And no ailments. Just fun. Wait, what day is it, though? Is it today? Not today, is it? Thursday? Okay. So 2 days from now. I don't know what they're going to really announce at Skulls. I mean, I don't really... The only 40k game... Or not 40k game, fuck. The only Warhammer game I've played as of late is just Total War. But who knows? Maybe something will come out that I'm more inclined to kind of, like, pick up and play in full. But typically, when there's Warhammer time, there's no time for gaming. Like, I've got so many things to work on that, like, playing a Warhammer game is just taking away from, like, the actual hobby. Unfortunately. It's the hobby that keeps on giving. Play the games, read the books, work on the minis, converse. It's like, you gotta do a lot of shit in this damn hobby. It's great, though. Does anyone here use scribing tools by chance? Like, does anyone here do Gundams? Maybe, maybe not. I know you don't. We have jobs. True. But everyone has a hobby now. I need to pick up a tungsten fucking scribing tool, I think. Be very, very useful. I have an engraver. Is it, what kind of material is it? It's tungsten, no? But I guess not all of them would be, like, very... Hasagawa Tri-Tool? Okay, I'll look into that, actually. These, like, really, really stiff, super hard, like, metal scribers that I'm thinking would be very good for, like, clearing out fine debris between, like, beard strands. Technically, like, the only thing I really look into these days, hobby-wise, is, like, tools. Because there's always ways to kind of make things, even if, you know, a little bit more, nicer. And the tools do matter. You know, you can have a great technique and all this stuff, but you can also make it a lot easier if you just have the right tools. So I want to look into that, actually. Not sure if it's tungsten. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a million different shapes of engravers and things, but I'd have to look into it. That's a whole different bird's nest. The Gundam freaks and their sanding and their panel work.
Good morning, Captain. Hope you're doing good.
Commander, hello, sir. We're good. I'm actually going to be leaving here soon. Probably in the next, like, 20 minutes or so. It is the middle of the week. I hope everyone is chilling, or getting done with work, or doing whatever it is that brings you joy. Well, it's actually not the middle of the week. It's, like, beginning of the week, but... You paint everything, yeah. Metal isn't so bad to paint. You're just You're more so worried about chipping than anything when you paint metal. Otherwise, it's kind of the same process. Most of the processes you'll do for, like, plastic cleanup or resin cleanup, it's all applicable to, like, other materials with, like, a slight adjustment. Same thing with painting. At least Warhammer minis with, like, resin, plastic, metal. Yeah, you can do everything, yeah, of course. Of course. Well, this hobby is very labor intensive, but that's also up to you in terms of how far you want to go. You don't have to sit here and scrape every mold line. You don't have to finish every surface. You don't have to, like, clean up imperfections. Painting, same thing. It's like you don't have to go as detailed as you can. You can just kind of paint it and be happy with it and play with it. Or stick it on a shelf. So it still kind of just depends on the person. Oh, it's even better, right? Or maybe not. Maybe you should do the hobby. Everyone can do Warhammer. It's an everyone hobby. As long as you don't buy officially. Because that shit is not for everyone. Man, you need a lot of fucking slayers to make a slayer army. You need so many of them. The whole army is just metal. At least officially. Hmm. Alright, we should probably get out of here in about 15 minutes or so. I don't think I'll finish this, but 15 minutes I gotta head out.
Is that all you've got? You must have more!
Aside from the Roidman Bane, any other DC character you like? I personally like the Question Cool Guy, also rest in peace Tom Kane.
Yeah, I heard he passed away. That sucks. Very young, too. I think he was like 57. Anyone from DC? Like Gotham. Gotham's DC. I don't really mind Gotham. The Superman side of things, maybe not so much. Well, you live where you live. I mean, yeah, I don't think most people would want to live there, but home is home, I suppose. Cool setting, though, for sure. Gotham, for me, was, like, the coolest DC thing. It always kind of has been, but... Well, he's looking suitably cleaner for a 30-plus-year-old mini. This guy was sculpted before I was even born. Christ. She does, yeah. Well, she did at one point. She was learning that, and she did really fucking good. Ivana's really good at what she does, but she needs to keep up with it. It's kind of like me. If I kept up with bass, I'd be good. If I kept up with, like, a lot of painting over the years, I'd be much better. Building, playing, just, you know, life happens, and you kind of switch gears sometimes, but she's good. No, she's good. She's done a bunch of stuff. I'd show you, but I'd have to go find the files. Yeah. You just gotta kind of narrow it down to what you really love and then pursue that. Climbing gym. You should. You know what? Fuck it. Get your foot out the door and go. Gotta start sometime. Yeah, you're good, man. Peace, bro. Good luck with it. Enjoy the pump. You gotta go to the gym and get the pump. Let's do like 2 more songs maybe, and then I gotta go. Do 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 do. Whoops.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Hey, what's up? Today I will paint the Deadly Commandos.
The Ugandan Deadly Commandos. Cortego, thank you, sir. Well, enjoy that, buddy. Those are pretty good sculpts. Those sculpts are pretty nice, I gotta say. I totally forgot they had orcs in Kill Team. I don't know why, considering a launch box was literally of the orcs. Yeah, those look great. The Commandos. Starvader, hello, sir. I gotta be going soon. I'm gonna do one more song and then I gotta go. Let's do...
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Oh, there you go. Starvader, thank you, sir. 27. Do they have 2 kill teams? What's the other one? Oh, it's the Breaker Boys? You're talking about, like, the tank busters? Is that what they are? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Are those not just, like, tank busters? That's what they are, right? Oh, it's the same kit but different? Gotcha. Well, options are always good. All they need now is, like, a freebooter kill team and you'd be cooking. That'd be cool. Yo, good afternoon. We gotta go, though, folks. After this song, I'm gonna head out. Mochi needs to go for a walk. I gotta go eat. I gotta go wake the little dude up if he's still sleeping. Yeah, you're good, man. No worries. Got the new Cities of Sigmar Battle Tome, and there's mentions of Khazalids. That's pretty cool. Yeah, well, you know what? There you go. The book is coming. I'm very interested to see what they do with that. I'd love to see new sculpts. Specifically, new AOS sculpts. Yeah, freebooters don't really have much going on. You've got, like, Badruck, you've got the Flash Gits, you've got the older metal sculpts, you've got, like, the pirate ammo runts. There's not much going on, though, outside of that. There's certainly not, like, the top dog clan. They're even considered a clan. I don't think they're a clan. Kalidas City? I may have... Maybe. Was he in one of, like, the Godric and Felix books? By chance? I can't remember. Serpent Queen? I've read the Serpent Queen, but it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while for that one. Yeah. There's a lot of cool shit in those books. A lot of funk. I think that's also where Long Drong showed up, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do one more song. Chief Architect and Libras is meant to be majestic. I feel like for every other dwarf in existence, that would be very shameful. That'd be very disturbing. But, you know, for the sake of outliers... Bro's living his best non-dwarf life. Unlife. Oof. I started Total War 3 recently. I love Ikit Claw. Ikit's such a wanker. You gotta put him on a doom wheel and drive him around. Well, I mean, I play multiplayer. I'm not really into campaign, but Ikit Claw is like in most dwarf matchups have Ikit. At least when I played, which was like God knows how long ago, properly, a few years. Thankful. He should be coming out. For the sake of the end times, he'll have Big Bone Ripper. Not Mini Bone Ripper. There has been many iteration of Bone Ripper over the years. And the one of the end times is fucking, like, massive as fuck. That thing is huge. You big old rat bastard. Bone Ripper 69. Well, Thankful is in AOS. I'm not sure if he... I don't think he has Bone Ripper anymore. Because him and Gotrek get into a bit of a duel. And I do believe Bone Ripper's gone. Well, as he would be, he's just going to go build another one, probably, but... Wait, isn't... Can't you even play Thankful in AOS? Is he still playable in Age of Sigmar? I haven't looked at Skaven in AOS in so long. I can't remember. Like, is there even a mini for Thankful that was updated for Age of Sigmar? Oh, you know what? They're still using his old one because you can still buy it. I think that they're using the one from the End Times. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna check that real quick before I go, but this is predominantly kind of, like, cleaned up. It's not perfect yet, but a lot of it's better. Well, Thankful and Bone Ripper, kind of like Gotrek and Felix, you kind of need both. Not that Bone Ripper does much of anything but be a brute, but, well, it kind of sounds like Gotrek. Yeah, so they still sell Thankful. He's still on the End Times version. I guess he still has Bone Ripper. Thankful is accompanied at all times by a colossal rat ogre that he calls Bone Ripper. Okay, so... They kept the Storm Fiends. They kept Bone Ripper. Catacross bullies him. He invade. Okay, so he is. He probably rebuilt him, despite it looking the exact same. Thankful in the books is supposed to be this, like, emaciated, balded, like, shell of what he once was. At least that's the last time I had read about him in the Gotrek books. Or I think it was in the audio drama when it first came out, and then it became a book, but it was supposed to be this, like, balded, emaciated, like, shadow of himself. Whereas Gotrek is, like, roiling muscles. Yeah. It's like, dude, shouldn't you be dead? How are you even here? How are we both here? Interesting. They had new Rat Ogre sculpts? Really? Oh, they made new multiplayer. Oh, this was for fucking, They did new Rat Ogres for what? The launch box of 3rd? What are we on right now for AOS? 3? 3rd edition? 4th is next year? I mean, this shit could just be tossed into fantasy and be totally fine. Oh, it's 5th next year. Okay, so we're on 4th. The Skaven seem to be, well, I mean, everyone likes the Skaven. The Skaven are like a very good original idea. Man-sized, fucked up, chaos-snuffing rats who want nothing more than to bring down the world of man. It's a very original thing by GW. Yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of new shit. What the fuck? Vizix Scour, Prophet of the Horned Rat. They did new Globadiers. Yeah. I remember when they used to keep selling the Globadiers and you got like 3 of them for like $50. They came out around like what, 6th edition? No, probably maybe like 5th. Super OG Globadiers. Was there new Storm Vermin? They're still using the old like 6th edition Plague Monks. The Warp Grinder got updated. Doom Flayers got updated. Are those plastics? Yeah, those got to be plastic Doom Flayers. Yeah. That's the, I mean, that you know what? When a range does so well and everyone likes something, you get plastics. Like Doom Flayers and all that shit never would have been plastic. The Rattling Warp Blaster, that's a new thing. Yeah, there's a lot of Warlock Galvanier. The Arch Warlock. Yeah, this is pretty, I mean, you could literally, the Brood Terror. The Skaven range is good. And I mean, the Molder stuff is like horrifically fucked up, as it should be. Like, the Brood Terror is very Molder. Lizardmen 2 do pretty well, yeah. Also, I mean, Twitch's lore is he wants to rise up and crush the world of man. He's just Skaven. Yeah, there's no lore to Twitch outside of that. They have new Jezzails. Weapon battery teams. I mean, they look good. Fuck. Yeah, when your range is selling well, this is what you get. Everyone knows and everyone likes Skaven. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're even going to get more kits. To me, that makes sense. You know? It's like the Skaven, even though everyone is a rat, they look very distinct. Whether that be from, you know, whatever clan they're from or profession. I mean, they look distinct enough, even though they're all rats, which is where the Fire Slayers kind of failed. If the Fire Slayers were a little bit more distinct, I think they'd be pretty bomb, but, like, yeah, not really. Cities of Sigmar, yeah. I played Cities for a bit. I was doing, what was I playing? Tempest Eye. That was my city. Tempest Eye with KO allies. I played that for a few editions. First edition I played, like, Dispossessed. When they were still around. Like, when Fantasy died, you could literally just play your whole army of dwarves. They had, like, all the rules for the characters. Thorgrim was there, Ungrim, everyone, Bugman. It was really, like, rudimentary. There wasn't really much going on, but that was cool. It wasn't Fantasy, I'll say that. It was not the same. Not even close. But, yeah, over the years, Age of Sigmar's gotten pretty chill. I think right now, because I picked up the Caradron book, and I was flipping through it, and I'm like, where are the Skyports? Maybe I'm blind, but I think they've kind of stripped away a lot of the flavor in the latest AOS game. Like, well, not game, I guess edition. I'm not sure if you can even play, like, the different lodges for Fire Slayers. Maybe you can. Actually, you know what? The Fire Slayers, I don't think even had a book. I think it's the same book from before, no? Come to think of it, they don't even sell the book on the GW website. Like, what the fuck? There is no KO book. Not KO, sorry, Fire Slayer's book. They just gone. You can't play them. I don't blame you if you don't want to play them. The ships are nasty, yeah. The I haven't played like mono Caradron. I played allied Caradron, so like back in the day, you know, you'd take gun haulers, and the idea for the gun hauler was that it would be a mobile shooting support unit. So they'd kind of like plop down, fly up, plop down, fly up, whatever. You need them in spots, and they'll be there. Yeah. But I mean, the whole thing with the KO is just their boats. You load up the boats with a bunch of dudes, you just start shooting the shit out of stuff. I think they wanted to do a little bit more balancing in terms of like how they work, because a lot of the boats have been stripped down from what they used to have, which was like a fuck ton of gun profiles, and now they're just very basic. You don't have nearly like as big of a shooting phase as you once did. It's not like a guard shooting phase where you have like, here are my 52 las pistols that do nothing, and they're all on different characters. Like, they kind of stripped that away. They made it a little bit more streamlined, so, like, instead of the 900 guns on the boat, it's, like slew of weapons in the profile. It's all the shit weapons, roll it, and then it's, like, the big gun. Yeah, AOS has been a little bit streamlined from what I've seen. Like, even more so than it was before. But yeah. It is what it is. AOS has always been chill. I've always enjoyed AOS. Just haven't played the last edition. Anyways, I gotta go, folks. I will be on this afternoon. Give me like an hour. I'll come back and we'll do some League. And, yeah. The Chaos Dwarves. Well, they're back. The fetid Chaos Dowie. The Dowies are. Anyways, I gotta go. Be well, folks. Thank you for hanging out, and